right, good Tuesday evening, everybody. It was a pretty warm last day of the month of September. It's going to be a warm start to October as well. Temperatures are going to be in the upper 80s to low 90s for the next couple of days. Your lows are going to be in the 60s, and really there's no rain in the forecast for the rest of this week. So sunny, hot, and mostly dry. Until we get to the weekend, there may be a little bit of rain coming in from the Gulf as we get into Sunday and early next week. We'll talk about that in just a second. First, though, I want to show you what's happening. We have to really zoom out here because we're going to be under the influence of that high pressure, which is now positioned in Ontario over Hudson Bay in Canada. That's going to be drifting southward over New England over the next 48 hours, but we're going to continue to see a dry northeast wind coming in around it. Also, we get a dry wind on the backside of tropical systems, and we got two hurricanes hanging off the East Coast. They, though, are moving eastward and out to sea, so they're not going to make a direct impact, and they're certainly not going to get into the Gulf. No effect on our weather whatsoever, other than the fact that they're going to bring in dry air on the backside. So here's a look at Live IMAX 12. No rain, some clouds tonight, yes, but we think those clouds are going to be breaking up first thing in the morning, leading to another sunny day on your Wednesday. Current temperature is 71 at 10:41 this evening. There you see the fairgrounds. Fair's going to start in just a couple of days, Thursday, and it's going to be a warm start to the fair. We're going to see temperatures similar to this Thursday. Tomorrow, mid to upper 60s in the morning, upper 80s to low 90s in the afternoon. The average high is 84, and we're going to be at 85 plus every day right through the first weekend of the fair. Now, let's talk about the hurricanes. Humberto and Imelda, they're both Category 1 right now. Remember, though, Humberto was Category at 5 at one point, and just a few days ago it was still a major hurricane. It's rare to see hurricanes this close to one another kind of moving in tandem. When they get this close, they can have an effect on one another. They can affect their path and their strength, and Humberto, we believe, is responsible for helping to change the direction of Imelda, and instead of it making landfall in the Carolinas, being pulled off to the east, so that's good news. Now, over the weekend, they did have some outer bands come ashore from the Carolinas down to Florida, high surf, but that's about the only effect they're going to see from Imelda. Now, when two storms are close together like this, they do not merge and become a superstorm. That does not happen. But what can happen is that one can strengthen at the expense of the other storm. And what I think is going to happen here is Humberto is eventually going to go away, and Imelda is going to get a little bit stronger. Forecast to become a Category 2 near Bermuda about a day and a half from now. But again, no effect on us. All this, as you can see right there, they're both pretty much headed out to sea over the next 48 hours. Now notice high pressure is going to come down over the East Coast, and around that we get that dry northeast wind coming into Mississippi. So again, no rain in the forecast tomorrow or the first day of the fair, and mostly the first weekend of the fair is going to be dry, but look at Sunday and notice some rain is going to be coming up from the south. Now, it's more likely that you're going to get showers if you live in the Pine Belt or closer to the Gulf Coast, but we can't rule out a stray shower or two as far north as I-20, but we're only going to give it about a 20% chance. Meanwhile, the new drought numbers are scheduled to come out Thursday. That happens every Thursday, and we know that it's going to be worse. Now, this is the map that we got from last Thursday. 3/4 of the state abnormally dry, a third of the state now considered to be in a drought, and expect those numbers to go up Thursday. Obviously, we'll keep you posted on that. Notice Jackson is not even in an abnormally dry position. This is mainly because we had a very wet spring. I mean, we were on track to become one of the top 10 wettest years on record before a couple of months ago, and then just everything has just dried up, especially over the past 6 weeks, and we don't have any rain in the forecast over the next 7-8 days, other than a stray shower or two. So here's your start of the state fair. Noon Thursday, I believe, is when they're going to open up. 84 degrees, mostly sunny. We'll be in the upper 80s that afternoon. Humberto, here's the track, but again, we're going to close the books on this storm in just the next 24 hours or so. And then Imelda, strengthening process. Notice it's going to be a Category 2 as it zooms past Bermuda. Eventually, this is going to be a post-tropical cyclone as it moves into the North Atlantic by the end of the weekend. Notice there's the UK, the Iberian Peninsula, so it'll be somewhere south of Iceland by the end of this weekend, losing its tropical characteristics. All right, forecast for tonight, clouds but no rain, upper 60s in the morning. Tomorrow, we get a dry northeast wind, mostly sunny skies. It's going to be hot for the first day of October, 90 degrees, and the humidity is going to be tolerable, but it'll be high enough that we may see a heat index right around 91, 92 tomorrow afternoon. First day of the fair, 88 degrees, mid-60s in the morning, mid to upper 80s in the afternoon. And there you see the stray showers. We introduced those on Sunday. And we're going to keep it at just a 20% chance through next week, although that part of the forecast is changeable. It really depends on if anything gets going down in the Gulf. I don't think we'll see any kind of tropical storm, but we could see some moisture bubbling up from that direction. I can tell you I've looked at the extended models, and I really don't see a good cold front with any good cold air coming in behind it anytime soon. Now, that may happen, I'm thinking maybe right around the last weekend of the fair, or maybe a day or two after the fair goes away. But over the next couple of weeks, I really think it's mostly going to be just kind of warm and sunny and dry. All right, that's your forecast for tonight. Meteorologist Megan Hanna is going to be here first thing in the morning with your next update. Have a good night.